Hinge joints are bad. Hello and welcome to Stained Glass Gaming, where I turn video games into glass. This video is a viewer request and are the Chaos Emeralds from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. I use regular scissors to cut up to the paper pattern outline. Then I use 3-bladed scissors to cut out the actual pieces. I'm a casual Sonic fan, and I know that over the series there are many variations of the Chaos Emeralds. I chose these versions where the colors are dark blue, red, green, yellow, white, purple, and cyan. Or is it light blue? For the purple emerald, this is the best purple glass I have that represents the color I'm trying to match. This is the same purple from my Super Smash Bros. Video, and it has the iridized coating on one side, which is only visible if you tilt the glass at an angle. Otherwise, it still looks purple if you look at it head-on. The non-iridized side will be the front of the emerald. As for the cyan, or light blue, this is the closest thing I have. I glued the pattern onto the pieces of glass using Elmer's glue. I've played the games on the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, GameCube, and Wii. The Sonic games I've played the most were Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog. Yes, I played Shadow the Hedgehog, and I liked it. Though trying to play through it again, I realize how terrible the controls are, but I still like the game. Using a glass cutter and glass pliers, I cut as close to the pattern as I can and break the glass. The grinder is used to smooth out the cuts and refine the shape. I use a grinder mate to help grind the glass in a straight line. The pieces are small enough that using my fingers is a little difficult, so this grinder mate has been especially useful. Instead of writing the numbers, I dot the side that is to be the front. Realistically, there is only one way these pieces fit together, and if something doesn't fit, the first thing I do is flip the piece over. Copper foil comes in 3 different color backings: black, silver, and copper. I choose the foil backing that will match the color I want the solder to be. This mostly matters if the glass is transparent or translucent, as the foil will be visible through the glass. I tend to use the black backed foil because I like the look of black solder rather than silver. Copper foil is wrapped around the glass and pressed down with burnishing tools to ensure a snug fit. An X-Acto knife is used to cut the corners to be able to fold the foil onto the edges. I use 60/40 lead tin solder to stick the pieces together, applying flux before I solder. The flux allows the solder to bond to the copper, otherwise the solder won't stick. I tack the pieces so they won't move when I remove the push pins. As much as I tried to grind as straight as I could and align the pieces when pinning, I still make some mistakes. For the most part though, I'm happy with what I've done. The alignment isn't so bad that I feel the need to redo the entire thing. I just accept it and move on. There is something I want to talk about that I don't really mention at all. Hinge joints are bad. Let me explain. In stained glass, you don't want anything to bend once everything is soldered. If something does bend, that signifies a weakness in the project and is the first thing that will likely break after some time. A hinge joint is a joint that runs along the entire project. Think of it like a continuous line. If I were to bend this right now, this would break along this line, which is a hinge joint. To prevent hinge joints, avoid making them during the design phase. But if that isn't possible, you can either wrap copper wire around the joint area, make a really thick bead of solder, or add copper wire to reinforce the joint. There are probably other ways as well, but those are the only ways I've done to deal with hinge joints. I bend copper wire and solder it to the top and bottom pieces. It runs perpendicular-ish to the hinge joint and will prevent the hinge joint from moving. I make hooks using copper wire and attach them to be able to hang the piece once it is finished. Once everything cools down, I wash the finished project with water and dish soap, then dry it off. I use a patina made specifically for lead that will change the solder from silver to black. The final thing I do is apply wax to slow down the natural oxidation process. If you want to know more, I have a tutorial playlist where I explain each step in more detail. Something that will continue to bug me for as long as I keep making these videos is the fact that the glass will always, for the most part, look better in person than in any picture or video. Cameras in general have a difficult time dealing with focusing on glass. Or maybe it's the phone camera I use. Yes, I know lighting is also very important, because I really struggled with it in my first several videos. But trying to use natural light to show off the glass is a struggle, in particular, very dark glass, like this purple. In person, it is very clear what shade of purple it is. But on camera, you can barely even tell it is purple. I had to get a light and hold the emerald in front of the camera to even be able to see that the glass is purple. So as good as these look on camera, they look even better in person. But hey, that's just how glass is. It'd be no fun if everything were easy, right? Despite a few issues I had, these still came out looking great. I really like all the colors I chose for them. I kind of wish I made them a little bit bigger, but these are still a nice size. Maybe for a future video, I could make the Master Emerald. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see me make down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all through the next pane.